Get ready to quit the build.
Here we go!
The QTB crew is rounding up all the gaming news and hot topics of the week with a little extra something. And here are your hosts, Bruno, Brad, and Nick.
What it do? You're listening to the QTB podcast. I'm your host, Bruno, and with me are the Brothers McMuffins. It's QTB's Nick and Brad.
That's 2 episodes in a row, so I'm pretty sure this name is going to stick. And now I'm pretty sure you do have to make a t-shirt, so.
Of course.
Will we get sued by McDonald's? Definitely, but it's worth it. We're loving it.
Yes, Brad. It's good to have you, brother.
Oh, you know, it's great to be here, to be a McMuffin. I mean, I think we talked last episode, we're all different. I think I claimed I was the sausage McMuffin, whether that's a good or bad thing.
Yeah.
But either way, we're the McMuffin brothers and we're here. So
Yeah, I'm ready for it. I'm ready. Yeah. I'm ready for some video game talking and some video game hating because that's what we're going to be doing today. I got news for you kids. It's not a good one, okay? There are some things out there that have not gone well for just about every developer ever.
Yeah.
And we are on the receiving end of that crap. Here we go, Nick.
Well, before we get into the bad news and just eviscerating some game studios, let's get into some good news because we have a big announcement. If you've already seen on our main QTB feed, if you're not following us on socials, you probably already saw episode 1 of QTB Legends. This is our brand new interview series with just titans of the gaming industry. We are so fortunate. And we got some amazing content lined up long-term for that. But our debut episode is with none other than Don Traeger. Brad, tell us a little bit about Don. Who is this guy?
I mean, for those who haven't checked out episode 1 yet, Don is one of the co-founders of EA Sports, one of the main development production managers at Atari. Before he went to EA, he's owned his own game development studio, DT Productions. I mean, he's known for Skate or Die, Paperboy. I mean, co-founding EA Sports, working with legends of the sports industry like Michael Jordan and Larry Bird and Shaquille O'Neal. I mean, you're talking Shaq Fu. I mean, there's so many things with Don that he's done in the gaming industry. We are so excited to be kicking off this new interview series, QTB Legends, with him, with several episodes to come, and you're going to get to hear everything exclusively in his words about it.
Yeah, and some content, both photos and videos that have never been seen before. So, and stories too behind the scenes of just as incredible pictures that he paints during these interviews that really put some context behind that golden era of console and arcade gaming. So check that out. We will have those episodes on this main QTB podcast feed if you're listening through Spotify or Apple Podcasts, what have you. Also, the video versions of that are available on Spotify and our YouTube channel, youtube.com/quitthebuild. So be sure to subscribe. Click that bell, as they say, like, comment, subscribe, and be a part of the QTB Legends experience.
And if you just want a quick link, you can go on over to quitthebuild.com/legends. There's a little landing page there where you can see the first episode, follow our socials right there, and just a little bit about the series that we're going to be producing. So head on over to quitthebuild.com/legends and watch the first episode. It is awesome.
Nice. All right, so that is the good news. Let's get into the news, which our first story coming from Games Radar, talking about GTA 5 for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. I'm Dan Rather. This is the news.
This is the news.
Why do I always go to Dan Rather? That's not like, people don't know who Dan Rather is anymore. I don't know, Katie Couric, is she still doing stuff?
We moved
Anderson
up like
Cooper.
a few decades, but
We still have Blitzer. He's still
George
around.
Stephanopoulos.
Yeah. Oh, man. But yeah, so this story. Now, I mean, we had been waiting for the next-gen release for Grand Theft Auto 5 for a while now. We knew it was coming, and of course, like a lot of these next-gen versions of existing games, we're getting some very confusing runaround, a lot of caveats, and overall, if the GTA Online subreddit is any indicator, and I think it is, It's pure pandemonium. A lot of people upset. So let's just jump right into it and kind of break down the what, and then we can get into why we're upset with this, right? Because I think we've all got some takes on this, and we want to hear from our listeners as well. So first of all, what's going on with this upgrade is, of course, we have the PS5 version and the Xbox Series S and X versions of this game, and what you're going to want to look for is a couple of rule sets, right? So first of all, and this is where people are getting mad, you can't move from the new version to the new versions of the game if you've already migrated your character from PC to console, okay? So, right, a while back they created the ability, or rather to PC from console. They gave you the ability to say, okay, well, I've got a console character, right? I'm going to take all that work, and we're talking about a game that's been out for what, 8+ years now. Taking all that work and all that money I've spent on shark cards and what have you, and the progress and time, which is priceless, and moving it to PC, right? Well, now they're saying, well, if you did that, you can't take your character on Xbox One and move them to Xbox Series S and X, effectively boxing you out of the content that you have worked for all this time. And it gets worse also. Oh, yeah. Keep that one on standby and any other womp womp style effects because I'm not done. Also, your last gen character is deleted when you transfer to the next gen version for GTA Online, meaning that you can't play with people on the last gen versions of the same console series and can't go back and play it on Xbox One or PS4 anymore. You have to start a new character. So, and that's just a couple of the things, but just off the bat, it's really bad news. People are reporting all sorts of disasters trying to get their characters transferred. Some people saying their characters are getting hung up and getting deleted during the transfer, and they lose all of their progress. Now they got tickets open with Rockstar. I mean, guys, I'm going to kick it over to you, Brad, because I know in our pre-show you were getting fired up here, so you got some choice words for these people. That, I mean, let me try and set this up for you. We saw with the GTA Definitive Trilogy just a disaster of a launch. I think we all can agree on that, especially with some of the ported versions like Nintendo Switch. And we saw a lazy approach, right? They took the easy way out. Now, not only with these rules making it harder, but the lack of any really additional content aside from a 60 frame per second boost in some spots. We're not getting anything else, but we have to pay for it. So what is your take on all this? Where are we at right now? What's the Brad situation with Grand Theft Auto Online?
4 words, definitively a cash grab. That's what this is. Folks, read and weep it. They don't want to spend the money or resources to help you migrate your character and your collections and the time that you've spent logging into the game. They want a quick little relaunch, it's on the new consoles, which we don't want to have to deal with, so we're just going to make you start from scratch, pay another $60-$70, start from scratch, leave all your other stuff behind. Oh, and if you try to migrate it, whoops, it's probably going to get deleted. So cash grab, lazy, under-delivering, definitively bad. That's my take, and I'm going to leave it there. Bruno, what do you think?
I think you're right. I think at this point, when we've got free upgrades for a lot of these games, where if you buy them on the last gen console, and we've already bought it again. I've already done it twice now. I got it for the 360 and then I got it for Xbox One. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So I'm at this point where I'm like, I do want to see the graphical updates. It's a beautiful game. I was looking at the trailer the other day and I was like, Grand Theft Auto, all these years later, 10 years later, essentially, is still one of the best games you can buy right now, regardless of platform. Okay? So it doesn't matter at this point if you need to get it for the next gen. I think it's maybe enticing the new people who haven't already jumped on board. It just goes to show that perhaps they're not going to be getting rid of Grand Theft Auto Online altogether like we had anticipated with the new edition of Grand Theft Auto 6, right? We thought, well, what are we going to do with Grand Theft Auto Online? Obviously, it's still going to be around, especially if there's a separate version of the game. And I just think that the people who are already on the GTA bandwagon and are still playing it are going to stick with what they're used to. I don't see any reason why they would go up to upgrade for that, especially if you're on PC, okay? Because if you're on PC, you've already got the ability to upgrade this stuff with mods. There's so many mods out there for Grand Theft Auto at this point that there's no need for a PC player to really migrate to the console. It's better to stay on PC. This is, like you said, Brad, it's strictly at the console owners. It's kind of a slap in the face. Not so much to the consumers, because I don't think the consumers, it's really that big of a deal. To us, like I said, if you're going to get it, you're going to get it. This isn't going to be a game changer for you. But it is a slap in the face to, everyone who's trying to move forward with next gen gaming, essentially.
Yeah, but Bruno, you've spent hours and years time playing the Grand Theft Auto series, and you play Grand Theft Auto Online a lot, and you've accumulated a great characters, money, resources. Now you can't migrate
Millions.
Millions.
Well, I don't need to. I can already play it on my Xbox Series X. So that's what I'm saying. Like Nick said, the only thing you're getting is a graphic update if you choose to do that. And at this point, if they're saying that there's risk behind it, then there's really no need to do it. And I'm not one of those people that it's going to bother me at all, right? Yeah. The biggest issue is what Nick said, which was not being able to play with people on the previous console. Now that's the problem. It's not the issue of having to pay for an upgrade or anything like that. You're bound to see that at some point. The issue is not being able to play with the previous consoles like that, because essentially means if I upgrade to the Xbox Series X version, you've got to do it too, or else we're not going to be able to play together.
Yeah.
So and Nick, chime in here, but for me that makes no sense, right? I mean, if it's really then to attract new console owners, to Bruno's point, if you've already got a player base who plays together on the existing version on a Series X, who's gonna what type of sales? Like, what's the point of this release? I feel like it's such a niche product or a niche release. Like, what is your perspective maybe on who is it? What's the demographic? Who's gonna get this?
I think you're onto something there, because we're still in a console shortage, right? So there's still that issue of, especially on the PlayStation side, they're really having trouble keeping up with demand. But overall, everybody is. That both Xbox and Microsoft, or rather, Xbox and Microsoft, both Microsoft and Sony. Listen to me. Talking about video games. But yeah, the big thing, Bruno, is you can actually go one step further than what you said, where you said, well, if my friend is playing on the last gen console, if they're playing on this gen's console, but they're playing the last gen version on the next gen console, but they didn't upgrade, now they can't play with you, right? So there's so many ways. Okay, so if you're on Xbox Series X,
I'm doing math here.
Okay, yeah, this is going to be one of those that
my
trending
brain
reading rainbow TikTok thing happening right now. So
here we go, me trying to figure out runes again.
Okay, that's just math. But no, okay, so you're on Xbox Series X, right? Let's say that Brad upgrades to the next gen version of GTA Online, okay?
Yeah.
But you don't. But you're both playing on an Xbox Series X because you didn't upgrade to the next gen version. You will not be able to play together. Yeah. And there's all of these, I so many people on the subreddit there for GTA Online talking about how, hey, we've got a group of like 6 friends, and only certain ones can afford next gen. Some of them really want to make the upgrade, so now it's split up their groups because 3 people are going to move on to the next gen version, and the other 3 either want to or have to stay behind. And I think that's a real shame, because you look at some of the most successful multi-platform games out there, like Fortnite, Rocket League, etc., and that the strength has always been that you can play together with minimal restrictions. That always hasn't been the case for GTA Online, right? We've had our little separate pockets. But, I mean, for them to continue to add these arbitrary barriers and to say, well, you can't, we're going to delete your original character. They didn't have to do that. That's BS.
No.
They didn't have to do that. They could have left a copy of that character there. And it's one of those things where they're trying to say, we're trying to prevent, duping and that kind of thing. There's also a lot of little things where if even once your character was found to be, farming missions in a way that they find is unsavory, and your account was flagged like 7 years ago for it, you can't transfer. Like, you will be locked out of it entirely.
So
and you think about a game where you need millions and millions and millions of dollars and, of in-game currency and just thousands of hours of gameplay to like buy, a tank once.
I know. I'm still trying to get that the Vanquisher flying rocket car motorcycle.
Yeah.
It's not car, it's a motorcycle.
So
thing.
this is going to divide and alienate your gamer base because
Yes.
the people who have or affluent who have the money and who have the console will upgrade and be like, yeah, I want to see the new graphics. Yeah, I want this to look pristine. I want this to feel like it's the metaverse. I want to be plugged in and looking like I'm thriving. But now all of a sudden you're going to have this exclusive lobby where it's just the people who could afford to do so on a new console. It's going to feel like it's like GTA Online exclusive or GTA Online Plus. Only the rich people can afford to do this. And I hate to say it that way, but that's what it's feeling like. Is it's going to make people alienate their friends if they upgrade. It's just it's fraction. It's going to fracture the gamer base, and that's really sad.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, what the hell is GTA 6 going to be?
You do have to wonder, and here's the bigger
Continents.
concern. Yeah.
Multiple continents. We're gonna fly
Yeah.
over to England. I'm
gonna
calling
cost
it
you-
now.
You're going to have to buy a ticket, though. It's going to cost you all your monies to fly.
That's right. Every time you go, unless you have like the super platinum deluxe pass, of course, to fly
Well, I'ma
first class.
yeah, well, yeah. There's
Or just
there-
get your own dang plane.
That's what they've been working on this whole time. Has to be like a live service thing, right? Like they've got to be dabbling into that to come up with some type of battle pass where you're right, where if you don't have the like pass, you're not going to be able to go to and from as you wish. They have to. It's one thing that GTA does well is nickel and dime you for every little thing.
Yeah.
I
It's gonna
paid
be,
$20,000 for the color red, and
it's going to
You're
be like
not
that.
wrong.
Yeah, I was gonna be like that. It's gonna be like that movie In Time with Justin Timberlake, where each like quadrant or each part of the map is like it
That had
costs more
Amanda
money to go
Seyfried?
to. It did.
Oh,
I know,
like
Bruno.
it.
There
Yeah,
you go,
yeah.
bro.
There we go.
But like each zone you move into or continent costs more money. Like, and you have to have a certain affluence to even enter that area and be there. So I feel like they're creating this fracture, and it's just underwhelming. I think the title's right. GTA 5 Next Gen underdelivers is an understatement.
Yeah. And so I think it gets worse. We've already given so much bad news here, but also consider that in this expanded and enhanced version, they're calling it the online half of it, right? They have it set up so that there are new cars that are only available in these versions. Now, what people are worried about is...
What?
Yeah. So they're
Nick,
saying, okay, is
I
this...
can't get the car if I'm not in the new version.
You have to have the next version. And so what people are concerned about is it going to stop there? Are they then going to say, well, we're going to now kind of just, sunset the older versions, and what you have is what you get. We might run events here and there, but if you want the new content, the new, heists and whatever it is they're going to release, you have to have the expanded and enhanced version of the game. So there's another purchase and another upgrade that you have to make. It could happen.
So hypothesis here. Could this be a slow way of getting everyone prepared for GTA 6, which may not be backwards compatible?
You may be onto something, because you have to figure that they are taking a financial hit in some way. There has to be some percentage of players that just get fed up with it and say, you know what, I'm out. That's happening a lot right now. People saying, you know what, I can't continue to play into this system where it's so unclear, and every chance they get to take the lazy route for a game that makes $1 billion a year, $1 billion a year with a B. What kind of precedent does that set for other big studios that are just making money hand over fist, that we get, mobile game ports of the original trilogy that's called Definitive Edition and used AI upscaling with very little actual human work done on the game. And they just shoved it out the door because they thought it would be okay.
I got a lot of problems with you.
Yeah.
People. Now,
when you start making that much money, Nick, you lose sight of your gamer and consumer base, because it doesn't matter anymore. You can put out whatever you want, and you can take the hit and be like, oh no, okay, that failed. I still got $1 billion in the bank year after year, right? And that's what happens, is success goes to your head, and then you think you know better than what the gamers want. And this is an example of, like you said, being lazy and putting something out there that really is underwhelming and I would say half-baked.
Yeah.
And just like Epic Capture Productions said, still no unicorns with laser beams. Nothing.
Well, that was Red Dead Online that you wanted that, right? You said that was going to come out. Yeah.
I think it would be perfect. That's how you get me on board. I gotta upgrade right now to the new Grand Theft Auto if there were laser beams attached to unicorn heads.
They're listening right now, and they're going to add it as an exclusive upgrade perk. You watch.
Do it.
If they do, I mean, it better be in GTA because they're not touching Red Dead Online 2. I think that's everybody knows that at this point. It's it's dead on arrival. Yeah, Indie Gamiacs, and I agree very much with this. Maybe it's a sign to play a new game. If you, and I mean, so many people, you get into that.
Like what?
Right. But I mean, with a game that's been out this long, right, especially like GTA where you get pot committed, right? You're just constantly putting in more and more money. If you are someone that tends to make those premium purchases, that you get into the sunken cost fallacy, right? Of saying, well, I've already spent, a crazy amount of money on this game and time, and it's going to be worth it if I continue to play, right? And I think this might be a breaking point for a lot of those big players that are potentially whales for them that are going to say, I'm going to figure something else out. Now is the right time for me to jump ship, right? You gave me the opportunity, and now I'm going to take it. I'm looking at this visual guide to the GTA games that have been released over the years. I sincerely feel sorry. This is not rose-colored glasses. I sincerely feel sorry for the younger generations that are coming into gaming that are stuck in this hellscape of only getting, maybe one major release for these big AAA studios every 7 or 8 years. Back in from 2001 to 2008. Think about the glory days of gaming that we took for granted, right? GTA 3, GTA Vice City, GTA San Andreas, and GTA 4. I mean, you want to talk about just game after game that improved upon what came before it, right? Exactly.
It was a victory for everyone. We were all winning that back then.
Yeah.
I was calling out Xbox all the time because that's what I wanted. We did it. Everything worked except for the red ring of death. You'd pop that bad boy on there and you just hope to God that you wouldn't see a little redness on there.
Yeah.
But no, they'll never get to experience that. They'll never get to experience. I don't even want to talk about the movies that they're never gonna see because Netflix keeps adding a new show every month and then canceling it
and then raising the price.
We're not even talking about that. But geez,
but Nick, you talked about those releases all in that 7 years. What's the last 7 or 8 years been like in comparison?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. We've had GTA 5, GTA 5, Red Dead 2, and GTA 5. Yeah, that's not an exaggeration.
Wait, did you say GTA 5 3 times?
Yeah, we had the GTA 5, right, and then we all bought the other GTA 5. Then Red Dead happened, and then now we're buying the new GTA 5. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Upgrade.
Yeah.
Did you see what we did there?
Yeah.
I'll do it again. Give us $60, please.
Yeah. Well, okay, it's not quite that bad. So one of the perks, just to kind of break down the actual facts on this, is that they are separating GTA Online as its own game instead of it being all in one package, even though no matter what version you download, you are getting that whole 80 gigabyte Electric Boogaloo, just massive title. But yeah, so what they're doing right now is they've got it so that on the PS5 side, right, GTA Online is free up until June 14th, okay, the new version, right? But then, and the GTA Online with story mode added is $10 US dollars. After June 14th, if you want just GTA Online, the upgrade is going to be $20. And then the GTA Online with GTA 5 story mode, that'll be $40. On the Series X side of things, it's a little bit different. Right now, if you want to upgrade, it's $10 for the online only. Online and story mode is $20. After the 14th of June, it's $20 for online, $40 for online and story mode. You see what I'm saying here? Like this, it's so confusing. And there's all these caveats where it's like, yeah, come on down and
come on down and
you don't overbid.
Price of the upgrade for a Grand Theft Auto. We're not even sure if the price is right, but we're gonna find out. Tell them to.
$1, Drew. The price is wrong.
I understand. I know why they're doing this. This is a data check. This is what they call that, a inflection point of their gamer base. How many of their true diehard gamer base fans are going to upgrade before the price goes up? They'll know. Yeah. They'll get numbers. They'll have a way to see, okay, how many people bought into the cheaper price versus didn't. Because the odds are, if you didn't upgrade, you're a diehard fan, and you don't upgrade now before June 14th, the odds are you're not going to. And they're going to be able to say, wow, 30, 40% of our base did or didn't. Or, and that's going to be really, really impactful to know going forward with the potential success of GTA 6. It really is.
I think so. I'm flabbergasted because it's just every time that they have an opportunity to impress us somehow, they find a way to let us down. And especially after you did land on bankrupt, because they're not bankrupt, but in terms of just new content and being able to, like I said, I think the biggest travesty of all of this is that the single player focused person that got into GTA for the story modes and just the rich dynamic campaigns, all this time they've seen no additions to the game. GTA 4 had some incredible DLC packs that are right up there with the greats and are good as just standalone stories on their own, right? They follow different characters rather than Nico. And so for this to happen where, we still haven't seen anything at all because the manpower for them, it makes more sense to just continue dumping it into something that's going to make you billions when they know, okay, if they've done the math, right? If we release a new DLC pack for GTA 5 and a story, it's only going to make X number of dollars. Not good enough. The shareholders won't like it. We won't do it. They have literally become a victim of their own success. I think Rockstar is one of the best examples of that phrase, that now we have this new product because they've been almost too successful. And that's just where we are. So GTA 6 maybe at some point, but they're still printing money. So I don't know.
I think Rockstar's just focusing on the T of GTA, and that's the theft of its gamer base.
Nice. That's okay, man.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, tell it like it is. Grand Theft Not a Lotto.
Oh!
Wow, we are just... Get us some butter, Bruno. We're on a roll.
Oh, spread that on a cracker.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, man. Well, guys, I'll tell you what you can spread on a cracker. And that is our Patreon supporters. Oh, my goodness, at patreon.com/quitthebuild. Thank you, as always, to our QTB supporters, like our QTB and Fuego supporter, Epic Capture Productions, and our QTV Plus supporters. We're talking Nick, The Dudist Monk, Indie Gamiacs, Alan Abadessa, Mr. Grove Games, The Intergalactic Pinecone, and Matt.Bat. If you would like to have a shout out on each and every episode, and of course, amazing perks and exclusive merch you cannot get anywhere else, tiers start as low as $2 per month. And are going to give you access to our QTB Nostalgia Vault bonus episodes. Guys, it's such a great way to support the network. You're seeing a lot of this extra bonus content like QTB Legends we're putting out. And that direct support really helps to make it happen. So, viewers like you, as they say, or listeners like you, depending on your preference, we're here for you. So thank you so much. Again, patreon.com/quitthebuild. Support us today. Over to you, Bob.
Over to me. Okay.
Oh, you're Bob? Okay. Nice. Guys, okay, so here is our next story, and it's more bad news. So
for Halo?
Not Halo, but you're close. You're close.
I'm telling you, it's bad. I'm disappointed.
Yeah, it is.
Very disappointed.
Well, we're going to get even more disappointed because this is another kind of Microsoft, I think, a story of just under-delivering, right? In this case, to a chronic degree. This story compliments of IGN that the Perfect Dark reboot studio reportedly is seeing a massive number of departures at their studio, The Initiative, right? So let's paint a picture here. Back in 2020, at the Game Awards, we saw a cinematic trailer that was completely unexpected that ended up being for a remake of Perfect Dark. Now, yeah, so once that dropped, we really didn't see or hear anything else, and now fast forward to 2022, and the news is coming through that there have been about 34 people have quit within the last year, including much of the senior design team. The game director, who was Dan Neuberger, appears to have left the team this year. And previous departures include Drew Murray, who was the design director, the lead level designer, Chris O'Neill. You know, we hear this a lot about... Everyone's quitting.
Everyone's quitting. They're all going over to Dr. Disrespect. Everyone is quite literally throwing up the...
Yeah.
Rage quit.
Yeah, you're right. And this is, we're seeing that so many people left and right. I know I hear that during game development and just the gaming industry in general, there are short lifespans on positions. People are hopping to and fro. But this game hasn't even been baked yet. Like, it's not even in the oven. So where are we at, Brad? Because, I looked at back in 2005, right? Was the last Perfect Dark game we got, Perfect Dark Zero. And I can't think of a franchise that was better poised to take their success, especially Rare success in the Nintendo 64 era, and just parlay that into what should have been one of the most iconic first-person shooter IPs, really of several generations, and now it's just fizzling yet again. Where do you stand on this? Because I think it's disappointing.
Perfect Dark is the Avatar of the gaming industry. Like, the first Avatar movie came out how long ago? And we're waiting on the sequel? Like, who's ready? Who wants that now?
Are you talking about the live action one? No,
I'm talking about the James Cameron.
Avatar.
That Avatar.
Exactly
gotcha.
my point.
Yeah,
exactly my point. Thank you, Bruno. No one remembers. We've missed the boat. There's too much time, but
they're going to do a video game, Brad.
They are.
They're doing a video game.
But my point, getting back to Perfect Dark, if it's been 17 years and you've missed now on multiple console platforms for your next release, it's going to be a dime a dozen game that's going to be forgotten. You've lost your core following. You've lost your audience. You've missed now on, like, first-person shooters have come so far that,
Time's up.
What?
What is a disaster?
Yes. Thank you, Alec. Rest in peace. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's the Perfect Dark is the Avatar of the gaming industry. No one knows when the next one's coming out, and does anyone care?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Bruno, I know you followed Perfect Dark pretty closely. I remember seeing when the Xbox 360 first came out, and you were the first person I know who had it. And I looked in your game library. I don't know why this stands out to me, but I saw Perfect Dark Zero right there in your little media hutch, right? And I'm thinking, oh man, they know the next Perfect Dark. And I remember watching you play it and being like, not so much. Like, where did you stand? Because you've played both Perfect Dark games. Do you think that Perfect Dark Zero was underwhelming?
I mean, it was, there weren't too many games from which to choose when the Xbox 360 came out. So it wasn't like I was knee deep in I think I had Perfect Dark Zero, Call of Duty 2, and like Madden. Right. And so that was like pretty much the only games that were really out. And Perfect Dark Zero, I went through really quickly. And I tell you, Nick, this was peak first-person shooter days for me, because I was coming over from like Halo 2 and just really, really into the first-person shooter genre at this time. So in order for me to actually have fun and be competitive, I would forego my weapons in Perfect Dark Zero and just run around and literally like slap people until they drop their weapons, because you could steal weapons from people essentially. And so I just sit there and
slappers only,
and then grab their weapon and then be like, "You're dead, die," and then that was it.
Man,
so that's how I remember Perfect Dark Zero.
Yeah, and
I think that, like I said, it's hard to judge something like that now. Mm-hmm. Because at the time it was perfect. Okay.
Okay. I see what you did there.
Okay. But Nick, let me ask you this. Here's the take. If all these developers and workers are leaving, right, that signals that this game is not going to be anything that's intrinsically new or genuine or unique. It's just going to be a paint paint layer on a platform, on a style of game that there's a dime a dozen today. What's going to make the next Perfect Dark edition anything that is worth grabbing, that has something unique to grab a gamer?
Yeah, well, the number one thing is you got to have a studio that's in harmony with each other. And a lot of the stories coming out here from this IGN article saying that one of the most common reasons given for staff departures include a feeling that the studio was not a collaborative place to work, okay? That they're saying it was kind of a top-down hierarchy. You have a couple of guys at the top that are barking out orders. They want it done their way. And as a result...
I will send you to Jesus.
That's right. Holding the slipper, right? Here comes the emotional damage. And, the alleged result is that the project was developed painfully slow. And I think that we see the byproduct of that, right? Which is that it was announced in 2020, and it was really crickets since then. As soon as I saw that, and it was a cinematic trailer, that we didn't even know it was Perfect Dark. You couldn't even tell that it was Perfect Dark until they showed you at the very end with the silhouette, right? And I'm thinking, even back then... Yeah, exactly.
That's what we all collectively did at that moment.
That worked a decade ago. It does not work anymore, because the first thing I thought when I saw that is, oh, that's 2025 at the earliest. At their earliest. And it looks like that's exactly how it might play out, if it even gets finished at all. Please, game developers, stop giving us cinematic reveals with nothing else behind it. We don't care. You can show us the coolest pre-rendered footage in the world. It's pre-rendered footage. Sorry, Apex Legends ruined it for everybody. When they show you something that says, hey, here's in-game footage, by the way, go play it, you cannot show up with a cinematic reveal and expect us to get hyped anymore, because we know that it's going to be 5, 6, 7, even 8 years down the road before we ever play that product. It's so underwhelming. No one cares. And here's where I'm at with Perfect Dark as a franchise. The original... And like I said, when I first kicked it over to you, Brad, I said kind of exactly what I'm getting at here, which is that they were poised to be one of the greats, right up there with Call of Duty, right up there with Halo, and they should have been to this day. You look at GoldenEye 007, right? And the many times we brought this up, that game was a victim of its own success, because GoldenEye is only one game, right? It's only one movie. There's only so much material. So Perfect Dark was Rare's perfect, definitely pun intended there, response to GoldenEye, because they said, oh, you like the gameplay, but we can't continue to give you GoldenEye, 007 James Bond content. They took everything that was great about it, upgraded it, right? You have a lot of the weapons, a lot of the maps with enhanced gunplay, and every gun had an alternate effect. And I mean, there was just nothing else like Perfect Dark. Still plays great to this day.
Slappers, don't they?
Yeah. So for them to then transition to the 360 and have Perfect Dark as a launch title, that should have been something, that should have been something. For them to go this far, now there were 2 canceled games that were supposed to come out after Perfect Dark Zero, so they had a whole plan, but the game sold so poorly that ultimately those got scrapped. And so I really think this is one of the biggest travesties, as far as if there's one franchise that I really want to see make a strong comeback that has been dormant. I think Perfect Dark is right up there. And you're talking to someone that should, for personal reasons, say Mega Man. But I would make an exception for Perfect Dark, because I know what it was like in its prime, and I think it deserves that comeback. How about that?
How about them apples?
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing left to be said.
Yeah.
It has been said, and we're waving over there. I will tell you one thing, though. If you're a kid just picking up Xbox 360 and it's roughly 2006 or 7, and the only 3 games available to you at the time are a Madden game, which has been done to death, a Call of Duty game, which will go down in history, the annals of history. I don't know what an annal is, but it sounds interesting.
It's pronunciation, I'll tell you that.
It's your word of the day. Make sure you spell it right when you search for it, though. I'll tell you that much. 2 N's. Yeah. 2 N's.
But
wait, Bruno.
Perfect Dark was a great, like I said, Perfect Dark Zero was a great addition to that library, and seeing something like that, I can see where they might have gone, a traditional shooter. I don't think now's the time. I think 2025 is a great release date for something like that, especially if we're not going to be getting a new Call of Duty every year, and they're going to slow down on those things. The market got saturated, right? And that's the problem. Like, it wasn't just the fact that GoldenEye was popular and there was nowhere else to go was the fact that everyone and their mom decided to do a first-person shooter and continue that legacy up through the early 2000s. How many World War II games did we get back in the day, like to copy the Call of Duty formula, right? Like even Call of Duty was susceptible to that because they're like, we're going back.
Again.
It wasn't enough that we did it once. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
I do have to say, Bruno, shout out to the Dudus Monk. I think there was a 4th title available at launch of the 360. I think this was the launch title. Yeah.
Elements of Power. Yeah. But people forget about that one. And that, I mean, I think that kind of describes the Xbox 360 lineup, right? You know, you had 2 console generations, both 360 and Xbox One, that like, man, those were the dark ages where what you got, and then a bunch of Kinect titles that nobody wanted, right? That, you know, we a lot of these games just kind of were dead on arrival, and in Perfect Dark's case, killed the franchise, literally killed the franchise. I think that's such a disaster, and you know, I could talk for a while about this, but I'm just going to talk myself in circles. I cannot believe, you know, if you want to talk about showing your age, I look at this and I say, oh my goodness, the original Perfect Dark came out 22 years ago. Wow. That is unbelievable. And I just, even in its prime, I think it didn't get enough praise because so many people, it was kind of later in the N64's lifespan, and most people just associated when you're playing a first-person shooter on the N64, you are playing GoldenEye, and man, it did everything better. I talked to so many people who claim to be, I don't want to gatekeep, but they say they're big GoldenEye fans, and then I'll be like, oh, well, you played Perfect Dark, right? And they're like, no, and I'm like, okay, well, why don't you go get the Xbox 360 version, right? As part of the Rare Replay, because not only is it's a stunning 60 frames per second, but it has those retro facility, I think was Aztec and a few other maps with classic GoldenEye weapons you can unlock. Like, you can go back and live those glory days right now. I know we're supposed to get a major announcement hopefully soon regarding GoldenEye 007. But man, if that's what makes the comeback instead of Perfect Dark, how embarrassing is that for Perfect Dark?
Wow. Well, I tell you one thing, every time Halo releases the Forge mode, because you know it staggers in between, you know, games, I always recreate my favorite multiplayer level from GoldenEye, which was Stacks. I loved Stacks with that big open room, and there was like, you know, a level up top, and then there was even a basement and secret rooms you could go into. Loved that area. It was one of the best maps for just open long range firing and stuff. And it's just so fun to be able to go in something like Forge and recreate maps like, you know, the ones you're used to into a game. I wish more games would kind of do that, bring that element over and allow people to really create, you know, an experience of their own, similar to what Fortnite does. But you know, if we get GoldenEye and multiplayer, all of the bells and whistles to go, I mean, just shut up and take my money right now. Yeah. Because you got it. Yeah. I'm all over that.
Well, I'll tell you who can shut up and take my money, Bruno. Our sponsor, Pierce Unlimited. Whoa! That's right. For marketing media that works and bespoke design to power your business. Visit PierceUnlimited.com. My gosh, whatever you might need from our fabulous podcast packages and even consultations, you know, any kind of graphic design that you might need for your business, whatever it is, stop on by PierceUnlimited.com. Get your free quote today. Tell them we sent you. I'm told there may or may not be a McMuffin. I don't know when it's going to get to you or how it's going to get to you, but just say the Brothers McMuffin sent me, and they're going to have something for you. Okay? How about that?
Exactly.
Yep.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm going to get a call from Pierce Unlimited. Is it? What did you promise them? Yeah, so you got to send them a McMuffin.
Barbecue sauce on my titties.
We're not promising that. That is definitely not it. Okay. Well, on that note, no
plug, but just...
Yeah.
What's so funny is that Sweet Baby Ray's is the icon for that sound clip.
Oh, man.
There's no other.
Speaking
the one and
of,
only, the Zuck. The Zuck goes for Sweet Baby Ray's.
He does.
Okay?
It's one of the things we know.
That's
yeah.
a billionaire's favorite.
Yep.
Okay, it must be good.
Well, speaking of tangy condiments, guys, one thing that we've got to do this week, we got the premiere of the Halo TV series on Paramount Plus. How you like that sauce?
Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
I am ready.
Spread that on a
We're
brisket.
all ready for that. I heard it was actually pretty good too. Like it's
Yeah.
actually supposed to be, actually surprisingly good for a Halo series, which is, a big change compared to the game because the game is suffering right now. Absolutely horse poop. Okay. That's what's going on. And let me tell you something that bothers me, Nick, okay? Let me tell you something that grinds my gears.
Okay.
Because, what? This
You had to
is
do it, Nick.
unacceptable.
You had to do it.
Unacceptable. They've got like a fire sale going on the item shop over there. Like they're going out of business. They look like a damn furniture store that's been going out of business for the last 6 years. Okay? You know what I mean? Where it's
Yeah.
just closing, everything must go.
Right. Yeah.
Bullshit, Nick. It's not what's happening. Okay? I paid $16 for the Maltese Falcon
Yeah.
pack.
Turd.
It's $8 now.
Oh.
$8, okay? This
that's
is
an oof.
unacceptable. And I got news for you. We haven't even moved into season 2, and they're slashing prices like they're going out of business. There's been nothing new added to the store. The game's dying. How dare they call this a live service game and then give us this turd? It's a turd.
That's going
what
on TikTok.
it is.
Bing
Yeah.
bong.
Can we rewrite that in Kanton's song from "We Don't Talk About Bruno" to "We Don't Talk About Halo"? We don't talk
man.
about
I'm already,
Halo.
Look, I'm already doing
No,
fresh
no.
raps on TikTok. I can put something together for you there, buddy.
I'm just saying. I mean,
Yeah.
you mentioned Halo and Bruno just gets his gears going. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Well, it's you can tell that I'm passionate about the game, but I got news for you. No news is good news at this point. I don't want to hear anything from them until season 2 comes out. Honestly, at this point, if I were a manager over there in charge of community, socials or anything, I'd be like, I'm not posting crap
Yeah.
until you give me something content. There's no content to post. It's ridiculous to have, minuscule updates and then not give us a roadmap that was supposed to be here in January.
Right.
They were supposed to get that in January, a roadmap for that, to delay absolutely everything. At this point, we'll be surprised if we even get a co-op version of the game. It's not cool for Xbox's flagship title to be doing this poorly. And I think that the entire community would agree with me and that it's not the Halo that we've come to love. The promise of a live service is an absolute joke. It's not a live service game at this point. If we're saying a live service game is Fortnite, this is the farthest thing from that. And I'm beginning to think that we won't even get, we're just going to get trickled content of a few maps here and there to the point where you can pick this game up a year from now and it will probably have the content you're expecting it to have.
Yeah.
Not content that you hoped it would have, but just stuff that you're expecting it to have. So...
And that's what really grinds my gears with Bruno.
Oh, hi. Thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage.
Sorry, I'm
There
just
it
over
is.
here. I'm just over here doing that Fortnite emote, just waiting for my turn. Waiting.
He pulled out the chair emote. Take a seat.
Where's my
Oh,
where's my
man.
John Travolta? Like, what do I say?
That's right.
now?
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Oh, man.
Nick, what do
Yeah.
you got?
Well, I mean, Terry's saying, would a wacky inflatable tube arm guy help? I mean, we'll probably get that as a as an emote or something. You know, it's
back
easy
bling
money.
and I'll be fine. Give me something to put on the back there.
Yeah.
Like that. I'm down.
I know
down.
a perfect place to get some back bling, and that is our amazing merchandise over at quitthebuild.com/merch. Put a t-shirt on your back, right? There you go.
Hey, that
Brad
makes
there
me feel
rocking
better.
the collegiate design, the retro QTB logo. Do not miss out on that. Of course, we've got a lot of great new designs waiting for you. If you like kind of a Mario-inspired, even Mega Man-inspired, Sonic-inspired Quit the Build logo, even tote bags, pop sockets, you name it, we've got something for you.
Pillows.
And of course, oh yeah, pillows. We got throw pillows. You can always have another pillow. That's right. Oh man, that's
Make it comfy.
sassy shopping
Throw it
music.
back there. I gotta have something to lower my blood pressure after that bit. I never know when it's coming, but God starts. The Paramount Plus show will be a welcomed distraction.
You can
the
scream into
pile
the
of-
pillow.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
And you can quit the build every time that desync happens, which is apparently a lot more than it should.
Yeah.
Am I right? I'm right.
He's right. Oh, guys. Well, yeah, also while you're there, make sure to check out our community page, our blog. Of course, like Bruno said, our quitthebuild.com/legends. Great landing page to learn more about that series. Please check that out. It's such a great a new addition and really a very cool interview series. We've got some very cool stuff coming up, both with Don Traeger. It's going to be a multi-part interview talking about his time at Atari. And like you would tease there, even kind of going some never-before-heard information about how Shaq Fu came to be. It is just an incredible conversation, and we're so pumped to get that out there. And yeah, tell them where we're at there on the socials, Bruno.
Well, you can go on over and find us just about everywhere. We really like TikTok. We've been doing some things on there. We do have a YouTube channel and Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. And guess what? We got a Discord too. Yeah, that's right. We got a Discord. You can go over there and talk to Terry. He's posting hardcore memes. And don't forget to check out our blog, where we've got new content. Hey, Terry even got us a recipe for all your favorite Pokemon.
Cook them up.
Cook them up, but you got to eat them all. I mean, you got to wonder what they're eating there anyway. Okay? There's got to be some Magikarp floating around at maybe some of the buffet places, right?
You're getting your protein somewhere.
Yeah. Somebody's getting something. Well, we've got something for everybody on the website. And the best place to get all of the content that we have to offer is through our website, quitthebuild.com. It's awesome. We love it. We love you. Go check out that channel. And yeah, it's quitthebuild.com. And I'm not gonna sing along because you expect me to. What? That's my little freestyle rap.
That was, jazzy.
You expected me to go with the tone, and I'm like, nope. Tone Loc over here. I don't even know. Nick, I'm going to take us out with something. It's been a fantastic episode, and we're so glad you could join us on the Quit the Build podcast. For Nick and Brad, I'm Bruno.
For Bruno and Brad, I'm Nick.
For Tangy Condiments, Nick and Bruno, I'm Brad.
Woo! Peace out. What it do? Quit the Build podcast.